So now it's time for us to set all other fields. So what I'm going to do is, notice that the student form name ID is something that is going to change. Also the content itself is going to change. So I'll extract a method out of this thing here. So I'll set a method called, for example, fill r.id.studentFormName with the student get name. And then it fills in the data for me. So let's create this method. It's private. I'll just set the ID here and the value here. So that's the value. Pretty good with this. And this is the ID. So now we can do this 6 times. 6 times, 5 times, I don't remember. Let's try it. Fill r.id student form the phone number. Student get phone number. Okay, now we need to create the getters. We're going to create them. r.id.student address. Student get address. Next, fill r.id.student form email. Student get email. And then fill r.id.student form website. Here's website. Student get website. And then fill r.id.student form email, name, phone number, address, grading. Student get grading. Then we save it, and then it's asking us to create all getters. Let's create the getters. Let's create this getter here, save, close, 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 create this, whoa. The second parameter is a double, it's not a string. Yeah, it's true, it's not actually an edit text, it's a rating bar, remember? It's a rating bar, so it doesn't work like this. So in this case, no, it's not going to work like this. In this case, I need to find the view by ID, as we did here. So I'll find the rating, and then set its value. How did we get the value? It was get rating. So let's set the rating to the student get rating. Sorry, go. So now we set the rating. Just the rating is different, so we have to live with that. So let's create the getter. The getter is going to return a double, as the rating is a double. Sorry, the rating is a double. But here I'm gonna cast it to float, because our view component uses a float. So I'm using a float here. So that's it. That's we filling in all the data for a student. Let's try to run the application and see if it fills in all the fields. So I remember that when I created Daniela, I didn't fill in all the fields actually. I filled in only the name and the rating. So let's see if it works. So I select Daniela. Daniela song is there. The rating, I don't see it there. So let's try to create a new student and see if it works. So I will try to create a new student. I will try. Oh, no, it doesn't work. It crashes. It actually just crashes. So I did something really bad when I tried to change the student form activity to work just both for new students and editing students. So what happens? Somewhere while instantiating, while creating our student form activity, we invoked the onCreate methods and it tried to fill in the form. And while trying to fill in the form, in here, the line 53, there was a null pointer exception here. Student was null. Come on, why was the student null here? Why is this guy null? Because when we create a new form, a new student, we don't pass anything extra. We don't pass anything at all. And that's it. We don't pass anything. We just leave an empty student. And that's it. So what can I do? So what we can do is, when we go to the student here, when we're creating the helper, we can do a check. If the student is null, then don't do anything. Well, actually, if the student is not null, then please fill in the form for me. That's one solution. Another solution would be, if the student is null, then set the student to an empty student, to an empty one, and then set everything empty. And then a default rating of 3, for example. Set an empty student. Those two solutions are valid, and you can pick the one you want. I'll pick the first one, The first one is easier for me, so I'll pick the first one. If the student is new, then I'm pretty sure that the student is a new student. So I'll just stick to a new student which has everything empty and a default rating of 3. Let's try to run our code. So let's select a new student. So now you have everything here. So I can type in my name, for example, Guilherme Silveira, some of my address, part of my address, my phone number, my website, my email, a rating of 5, and then, okay, Guilherme Silveira was created. If I select Guilherme Silveira, you can see that all fields were filled, except the rating. The rating did not work. Oh boy. So why didn't it work? I have to check why it's not working. So we have to go back to the form ViewHelper and check what's going on here. We saw actually that when we try to create a new student, it didn't select 3 as default. It's not 3 here. So it's not working as expected. So when I'm setting this rating to 3, it's not working. I could check just to be sure. Just invoke set rating and set 5. And that's it. Just save and just to try and check if 5 is going to be set. So I select Guilherme and it shows 5 here. So when I'm using the number 5 here, it's working. But when I'm using the student get rating, it's not working. Let's take a look at the get rating. The get rating returns the rating, which is set, rating. That's a pretty not smart move from myself. So let's remove the rating because it should be grading. That's someone not smart, right? So let's remove this guy here. Instead of set rating, it's set grading. And then we can create the double. Well, it already exists actually. Was pretty smart from me. So let's fix the code that I did by mistake and let's run the application again and see if it works. Guilherme is 5 stars. That's me. And Daniela, I think it was 4.5 maybe. She was 5 also. Let's see then Carlos. Carlos was 4. So okay, the grading, not the rating, is working. All other fields are also working. And whenever we create a new student, we are using a slate object, a blank student to fill in the form. That's one way of doing it. I could have chosen 0, I could have chosen 5, or I could have chosen simply to not execute this code. All those are valid solutions. If you have default values for your form, maybe using a slant object with default values will be the easiest way to implement it. That's why I chose this solution, okay?